Hi, my name is Bubblesly Rain, and I am a college student at Ori Tech, about to finish my 2-year degree in human services. I was sex trafficked off of the Myrtle Beach in 2015 and dragged across state lines to North Carolina. Coming back to Myrtle Beach, getting off the Greyhound, I think the first place I went was my job. Because at that point, I had finally actually got a job, and I was proud of it. I was doing good. Everyone liked me at my job. I went there to ask, like, can I be on the schedule tomorrow and this and that. My boss and the people I worked with at my job didn't even know, didn't even think anything was wrong. They just thought I went back to New York, where I was from. They had given my job away to someone else, so they couldn't let me work. They didn't have a position at the time. What it was like for my family and my friends when I was human sex trafficked was nothing. My mom didn't know. My mom didn't even know I disappeared because I was homeless down here in Myrtle Beach. My homeless friends didn't even think anything happened. They just thought that I was high off somewhere hanging out doing, like, nobody thought anything was wrong. Nobody questioned anything. No one called the cops. No one was looking for me. And to be honest with you, that was maybe the hardest part, because I may not have talked to my mother every day, but I'm like every other young 20-year-old at the time. I was posting stuff on Facebook every day. I was sharing videos on Facebook every day. I was posting stuff on Instagram or liking stuff or commenting stuff. For 2.5 weeks, there was zero activity on my Facebook, zero activity on my Instagram. I had not sent one text, not called one person. I didn't go to work. Nobody saw me on the sidewalks. I had just disappeared for 2.5 weeks, and it didn't affect one person. Trying to get back into society after something like that was the most struggling aspect of my life. And you hear a lot about people getting out of prison, been in prison for 40 years and trying to integrate back into society and it being a struggle. I find it similar, I really do, because when I was kidnapped and I was in that situation in that trailer, there was a point where my psyche just broke and I ended up attacking a little girl, hoping that they would just kill me. I was praying that they would just kill me. Trying to get back into society, holding a job, paying bills, being a productive member of society, it just gets difficult. It gets difficult to get out of bed. Trying to eat when all you can do is still smell the sweat from the men raping you. Trying to watch a movie on a date when you weren't aware that there was a scene in that movie that would trigger you, and trying to not freak out on that date. Seeing a child get slapped in a Walmart parking lot and you're just grocery shopping and not wanting to go and punch that mother in the face. There's so many aspects to life that get hard after something like this, because in some cases you still feel like you're a victim. Like the days that I can't get out of bed, that I can't eat, that I can't even get into the car and drive because I'm shaking so bad. And then there's times when you want to be the hero, but then you realize, oh, you can't just go up to that mother and punch her in the face because she's abusing her kid in the parking lot. There's times when you want to be a hero and you can't be. And there's times when you feel like a victim and you can't be, because you have to get up. You have to go to work because you have to pay your rent. You have to pay your car insurance. You have to put food in the fridge. Even if you're not going to eat it, you still got to try. You got to wake up in the morning and put on your big girl panties and you got to go do it. Whether in the back of your head you just want to cry and crawl up to a ball and die. Being a sex traffic victim has affected not only my personal life with friends, it has affected my life in romantic situations. A few years back, I had a boyfriend that I had, apparently in my opinion, opened up too fast about the traumas in my life, because when you get into a relationship, you normally try to give people like a heads up, or like, hey, this has happened in my life, so if I end up having a nightmare one night or something, they have a heads up. They know that something is going on and they understand enough to be able to handle that situation themselves. I have a problem dating someone with a mustache because kissing them, one of the people that sexually abused me, I remember him having a very itchy beard. And this one guy I dated at one point, the first kiss, I didn't even think that it would be a trigger, but it was a huge trigger, and I immediately started crying, and he freaked out and obviously stopped talking to me. I don't know what the name of the scent is, but there can be a scent on a man that smells like a cheap cigarettes and whiskey is a huge trigger for me. I have been in relationships where I broke out in a herpes on my lip because when I was sex trafficked, I ended up with a couple STDs, some curable. One, I do have herpes at the moment, and I will have that with me my whole life. And that gentleman broke up with me because he's like, I don't want to date a girl that has herpes. Like, that's not a part of my life, and I don't want it to be a part of my life. And it has affected me in the sense of intimacy. Intimacy obviously is a very huge part in an adult relationship, but for me personally, intimacy is a very hard problem when I am in a relationship with somebody because of all of the sexual abuse that I endured during being captive. I was damaged down there quite a bit, and a lot of times when I have sex, it hurts because of the trauma that was caused down there. And another thing that is a problem with intimacy is I was damaged down there so much that I cannot have kids. When a doctor tells a female that she can no longer have the family that she's been dreaming of since she was a little girl because of something that happened that was completely out of my control, it breaks you as a woman. And to be honest, I have not gotten over it. I have never gotten over it, and I will never get over it. Because the one thing that I wanted out of my life the most is the one thing that they took from me. Not only did they take some of my innocence and take some of my peace of mind, they took something from me that should never be taken away from a woman ever, is the right to have a family of her own. I ended up realizing that a lot of the choices I had made in my life were not the right choices. After those couple days, I know it sounds weird, but I ended up getting in a really safe nook on the beach underneath the pier by myself. And I woke up and realized that I need to make changes with absolutely everything in my life. I mean, I needed to get different friends. I needed to get off that part of the beach. I needed to stop using drugs. I needed to stop drinking so heavily. I ended up taking the bus to HGTC, that's in Conway, and I ended up going to the front desk and said, I need to talk to someone about starting college. I don't know who to go, I don't know where to go, but just point me in the direction I need to go in because I need to start taking classes. I ended up starting college, and that ended up going really well, and I am still in college. But that was my first step, was to get into classes because I knew that I wanted to do something with my life, and I knew that I needed to help people because I knew as much as I could at the time that there was a reason that I didn't die in that trailer. There was a reason that God or they or somebody higher than me had spared my life. And out of all the victims in the world that don't get to tell their story, that don't get to help other people, that don't get to have a chance to recover and heal and enjoy their lives, there was a reason I was spared. There was a reason why I was still here. The problem with a lot of victims and a lot of human sex trafficking victims, because I have quite a few friends that have also been in that same situation, but in different times in their life, and one of them that I am still friends with, they are very heavy in drugs. She is a heroin addict, and the reasons that she gives me why she uses are very valid, very valid. People use drugs to hide. People use drugs to escape the pain. The difference is rising above it. It is choosing to not let that pain break you. Because I'm sitting here today, I'm a very broken woman, very broken. And I'm very empty, and I'm suicidal almost every day. I have nightmares multiple times a week. But it's not letting them win. They already took a chunk of my life. They took so much from me. But using those drugs, making bad choices in your life, it's still letting them win. At that point, you have to choose you. It's not choosing the drugs. It's not choosing the alcohol. It's just choosing better. And I'm here to try to get my word out to victims is stop thinking of yourself as a victim. You survived. You made it. You won. And a lot of times people don't think of it like that they won. They just think, man, I'm a victim, blah, blah, blah. And I don't mean that rudely. You're not a victim. You're a survivor. And you need to start thinking like that. And not for anyone else, not to make anyone else happy. Because for some reason, out of all the people in the world that have died, you got spared. I got spared. Do something.